Okay, good morning, Alan. It's John once again, and today we're going to be flying an A320 Airbus, which you're now becoming rapidly familiar with. So no need to explain too much about the aircraft, alright? We're going to be flying today from Exeter International, more or less north, and we're going to be flying up to the Bristol Channel and then turning right to land at Bristol on runway 09, alright, which is easterly direction. So I'm going to set the airplane up. We're flying at dawn. Alright. And we're going to set the flaps to full. We need those to take off, quite obviously. Set the ARC to just for 80 miles for a moment. And request a pushback. We're starting at the terminal building, alright? With my steam version, you see the tow truck, and you do see the tow truck on some of the airports. With this version, this is just the computer version. For some reason, my recording system won't record the steam version. It just gives me the sound. So it'd be, nice if I can get that working at some point. At the moment, I'm going to have to go off the internal version, FS10 rather. So I'm going to stop pushback. Flaps are down. The entire purpose of this flight, the reason I've taken just such a short flight, is because I want to show you the landing procedure. Alright, now the flap full we're only using to take off and to land. You'll understand a bit more of this in a minute. The flight is about 25 minutes. It's not a very long flight. So we're going to be going to a cruising altitude of roughly 3,500 feet. No higher, really. So all I want to do is show you really is how to get the plane down every time. Obviously, please feel free to watch this video right through, because it will familiarise you with the takeoff procedure, how I've set up to go. And Lisa's out at the moment, so thank God I can actually record one with the TV off. When she's in, invariably the TV's off, and it's hard for me to concentrate on the airplane as well as the background TV. Just making our way over to the runway now. We're coming down a taxiway. Okay, you know what she'd be doing here now. I'd be positioned and hold short. Parking brakes. Let's just make sure that the runway is actually safe. Don't see anything anywhere. So we'll now proceed onto the runway. Try and take notes from this particular video, Alan, because it's probably the most useful one of the three. The first one last time was to familiarise you with the aircraft and what you need to be aiming for. And the second one was really about showing you how to set up an actual route and following your course line. As you can see on mine now, it's a short course. When we get to that point, we'll be somewhere over the Bristol Channel. We can see this line bringing down to 20 now. So we really want the line lined up with this yellow line. Do you understand all that? We're flying at dawn, okay? This is about 5, 6 in the morning. Gentle positive pitch there of about plus 4 degrees, which is all we realistically need to get us up to the 3,500 feet that we're aiming for. That should well clear us of any obstructions ground base that we may encounter, right? So now the plane is stabilised, and we'll just let everybody, albeit very briefly, get out and have a cigarette if they want, walk around, stretch their legs, and tour it. This one's got to stay on below 10,000 feet. I do hope you like this video, Aaron. I was a little bit strapped to find a really short flight, one with a short runway as well to land on, and so this is a very good one. You want to be sitting here hours on end watching things you've already been shown, just for the final 5 minutes of the video. So if you land it on Bristol, you can get it down pretty much anywhere. On a very slow rate of climb, so I'll just pitch forward, just pitch it back, watching your rate of climb. That looks just about perfect. The plane is stabilised nicely. We're doing about 270 knots. Now remember, the higher this airplane goes, then the more energy you've got to lose. So if you were cruising, we'll say from Exeter to Malta, it's a distance of about 1,460 miles. So you'd be cruising at about in excess of 30,000 feet. But at some point prior to arrival at Sicily, you would have descended to about 15 feet and lost half that altitude. Coming in over Sicily, you'll drop to about 10,000 feet. And as you leave the southwest coast of Sicily to turn southeasterly to Malta, you would bring her down to about 7,500 feet. And then on approach to Malta, when you see Gozo, when you're pretty much over Gozo, you will lose that remaining altitude to get yourself down to roughly what we're flying today. So today's exercise is all about the landing. assuming now that we can see goes out just in the distance, and that we have now begun on that new procedure. Right, so we've got our energy down. As you can see, we are about 20 miles from right base, right, VOR. Such a short flight now, I'm just going to extend the range for you now so you can see. This here is representative of around somewhere in a region of about 18 miles. Right, once we make that turn. So what we're going to do this prematurely. I would normally do this after I make the turn. I'm going to get everybody strapped in. A bit early for the landing lights. That when you start making these turns, things happen fast, especially whilst you're using narration like I am now. It's very hard to multitask and actually function correctly in my piloting job here. Now 10 miles from that turn I'm going to go flat 1. At 5 miles I'm going to go flat 2. On completion of the turn, I'm going to go flat 3. And if you watch the flat positions here, so flat 1. See how the nose is dipped? Yet we're still climbing. So I'm going to reduce power slightly now to compensate for that. Check my N1 power. Set N1 power at the moment is 44.7% per engine, but what you're really doing is looking at the balance of your rate of climb and your current altitude and your current airspeed. It's about finding the balance between those things. So 5 miles now we're going flat 2. I'm going to bring the range down now to 10 nautical miles. Once we reach this 2.5 mile marker, I'm going to be in my turn. Once we've made the turn, I'll bring the landing lights to on. You see this little thing here? That is telling me which direction I need to fly to line up with the runway. You see that rotate. Coming up on 2.5 miles now. We're at 3,500 feet, pulling back on the nose. Making a roll to the right. bring the gear down first before the flaps. Because if you bring the flaps to full position, the master alarm will sound. That's because the airplane's computer is very clever, and it thinks that we are attempting to land the airplane with our gear in the stowed position. Which we're stupid enough to do that, are we? Our airspeed is coming down. N1 power is at 36%. Altitude's coming down. Make out this red light here. That's the marker light for us. The airport runway is just there. And again, it's just balancing out, so throttle to idle. Start slowing our rate of descent more towards leveling off, our altitude, our airspeed will come down. So you need to watch that we don't stall. We're going to be careful not to hit any ground obstructions like those trees on that hillock over there. As it's not quite daytime, the runway lights are still active. You can see the approach lights there. Our altitude will fall short. We're flying totally by visual now, no more instruments, you don't have to worry about the horizontal situation display anymore. The only instruments we are monitoring, that altimeter and that airspeed indicator. And we are pretty much now 95% out the front window. I'm trying to judge. N1 power is 43%. Again, not to worry about that. Really looking like a rate of descent balanced against your airspeed and altitude. You can play with the throttle. Just feel it through. If we hear sync rate call, don't worry about it. It means we're just coming down a little sharply. Once we get touchdown, we're going to throttle right back and extend these spoilers, alright? It's a very good approach. This is textbook. Okay, I've got the throttles. The brakes are in. Flaring. Spoilers deployed. Like I say, very short runway on it. I've retracted the spoilers. I have landed it much shorter than that. I just overshot slightly there, as you saw. But the point is, the airplane's down. It's down very, very safely. Not completely. It was textbook until the final, probably quarter of a mile, and I just slipped above glide slope. Like I say, Bristol's a short runway. If you can get it down on Bristol, mate, you know, you'll get her down anywhere, alright? idea where I'm supposed to be parking this thing, mate. So this looks as good a place as any. Like I say, this exercise was just really to show you the landing procedure, and that will pretty much work every time, Alan. All right. I'm sure you know you'll be fine if you just toy with that. All right. And that's it. That's all we need to do for now. We need to shut her down. And happy flying. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. From me and Lisa. Have a safe flight when you do it. All right. Bye for now.